my protection.
Protection from what?
Koryuken.
We're gonna be in the new world in no time. This is exhilarating. Get excited.
I know where the obsession with the gorillas started. You know, where like the memes of gorillas. It was Harambe. It was Harambe. I know that, you know, gorilla stuff has been around, you know, the band The Gorillas has been around since like what, the early 2000s, late 90s. Harambe is where it started, and now we are entering the the internet age of the grand hypotheticals. 100 men versus 1 gorilla. Everything you need to know. Basically, is the whole thing is just like, if you ran into a bear or a man in the woods, which would you rather run into? A bear will eat me. A bear will turn me into a meal. Whereas a man, he may have like ulterior motives and stuff like that, but there's at least a chance that I will survive. Now, there's this one here with the whole deal of 100 men versus a gorilla, and I think, for me personally, I think 100 men would beat the 1 gorilla. Do you know why?
I can see that.
Do you know why? Because of a little thing called endurance hunting. Gorillas, powerful. One of the most powerful pound-for-pound creatures on planet Earth. Can literally, like, flip a car if they want to. Human beings, whenever they work together, plan and plot together, very slowly erode away at the gorilla's, like, endurance and stamina. No matter how tough a gorilla is or how strong a gorilla is, honestly, there's not much that the gorilla can do. Because this is why, like, a pack of 30 humans was able to take down, like, a woolly mammoth. And a woolly mammoth is scarier than a gorilla. Because don't get me wrong, a gorilla can, like, pull your arms out of socket. A mammoth can literally stomp you out of existence. Casual Geographic, whom I'm pretty sure you've heard of, this dude is hilarious. He's basically like a more modern Jeff Corwin, or I don't want to say Steve Irwin, although he does go out and he does get out there with the animals and like interacts with them and all that, which is cool. But I would say he's like a great like informational guy, and I'd say like, in terms of like animal information, he's one of the best right now, and he's doing a great job spreading information about like animals and all that I think people really need to know about. So he is taking time out of his precious time out of his schedule to dedicate to the 100 men versus 1 gorilla question. So, Rick, what do you think? Do you think the gorilla or do you think the 100 men?
I said the 100 men.
I'm same boat, man. Same boat. So, yeah, I guess, well, if you're ready, Rick, I guess let's go ahead and get into it. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Let's check it out. Here we go. My body is Reggie.
100 men versus 1 gorilla is just the newest online debate brought to you by people that have way too much time on their hands. And I'm no better, because here I am making a video about it. Because it's quickly gone from silly Twitter talk to what has to be a massive joke that I'm not in on. What's clear is one side is getting drastically overrated, while people obviously aren't taking the other side seriously. Plus, I love animals and arguments, so if you're looking for a video to eat your lunch with, or to be the soundtrack of your commute home, I'm going to break down the question you probably didn't care about in the first place, and by the end, you'll wonder how this was ever even a question. So here's the full truth of whether 100 unarmed men could beat 1 prime silverback gorilla. But first, we gotta understand what force of nature we're up against. Now, I do have a couple recent videos on gorillas, so to not repeat myself too much, I do advise that you check those out for further context. But basically, everything we thought about gorillas back in the day was wrong. They're giant, non-violent, fart-happy pacifists, and the most dangerous thing about them is they can misunderstand regular human actions as an act of war. So while, yeah, if you smile at a silverback enough times, he eventually will put beats on you like a Cherokee drum, most times a gorilla is just worried about the 6,000 calories he eats a day. And thank the stars for that. Gorillas are built like the developer had something to prove. They took the human model and said, drag to resize. The result is an alpha ape with a stronger bite force than a grizzly, allegedly, hands that can crush a crocodile's skull, allegedly, and just strength that we really have no way to truly comprehend. That man fully didn't plan to get casually ragdolled, but plans are always subject to change when you're around the prime ape. Gorillas might default to peace, but life is multiple choice. The question is, what kind of carnage comes when they choose violence? It's hard to imagine what a fully malice-motivated gorilla can do because it takes a lot for them to get to that point. The first phase of conflict involves using body language and gestures to send a message before hands even have to be thrown. Because for an animal that can spend over 12 hours a day eating, wasting calories on fights is poor resource management. The second phase of escalation usually involves pushing, grappling, and screaming in really short bursts. Gorillas fight the way they fuck. What I mean is
Gorillas fight the way they... Yeah. It doesn't last long, and it's often, like, a very quick, like, jaunt, and then it's over.
Like 20 seconds or less.
Yeah. Also, the balls on this man here.
Yeah,
like,
I was gonna say,
just you got a full tilt 400-pound silverback gorilla ah! just
phase of escalation usually involves pushing, grappling, and screaming in really short bursts.
What? Homie wearing the beret and just like looking like a badass.
His balls are like this big.
He's got balls like, yeah, he's got balls like Kremlin domes, dude. Holy shit.
The way they fuck. What I mean is the phase they run are like how they're hung. Not long at all. Because again, most times gorillas don't actually want to fight. But what about when they do? Yeah, that would be phase 3, and that usually happens when two silverbacks throw down for control of a group. Losing such would mean losing the 3 Fs: food, family, and the FCC won't let me finish, but stakes can make these fights to the death, and here's where we can see what gorillas are truly capable of. I found a research paper that detailed the injuries sustained in gorilla-on-gorilla fights, and based on that, you see a pattern. Those teeth are for more than just undressing trees, and losers are often found with lacerations and puncture wounds all over the body. And unlike a leopard, which leaves small puncture wounds, the canines of a gorilla cause large gaping tears in victims. Even if the gorilla's bite strength has been exaggerated, which we will get into, even lowballing them puts them at the level of a hyena. One gorilla named Inshuti had his foot completely crushed with the tips of his fingers and ear bitten off. Gorillas also use their arms, not really to punch but to use as battering rams, and they've also been known to pull chunks of hair out with their hands. So safe to say, a gorilla's stiff arm to the back would crack your constitution like a glow stick and could dislocate or break human bones by accident. And with many victims also recorded with bite wounds to the face, you'd probably be able to unlock your iPhone from 20 feet away after a gorilla puts jaws on you. So what chance would an army of humans have against a 500-pound berserker? Well, hot take. Gorillas have been drastically overrated in many ways. First as fighters. Gorillas aren't efficient fighters. They're more physical brawlers and grapplers, and with everything I've said, most fights last anywhere from a couple seconds to 1 to 2 minutes at the most. Also, as strong as gorillas are, their strength has been overrated. There are some animals that just get more and more OP the more people talk about them. Chimps have been said to have the strength of 8 men when really it's closer to 1.5.
Yeah, but
okay.
See, but I was gonna say 1.5 men. What, like 1.5, like Brian Shaw's, like the world's strongest man. Like if it's 1.5 of that, I ain't fucking with that. But if it's like 1.5, like my cousin or my nephew Rylan, I might stand a chance. But if you're talking like the world's strongest man times half, I'm like, no, I'm dead. I'm dead.
I'm gone.
I'm getting crushed. I'm getting crushed like a Coke can at a frat party. Oh, beer can at a frat party. Fair.
It's just that they're stronger in all the ways that can kill you. And grizzly bears are already big enough, but then you got people claiming they can decapitate a full-grown moose with one swipe. Now what idiot would say that? And this debate has people swearing a gorilla would rip a whole man in half like a phone book with nary a sweat. I knew the gorilla propaganda peaked when this was an actual debate. Dr. Strange can conjure up 14 million realities. You won't find one where a plus-size protein-packing primate can do anything to a full-strength grizzly bear taking him seriously.
Yeah. Grizzly bear, or like a full-size grizzly bear, that's 1,000-pound truck of North American like might. It's not losing to a 400 to 500-pound like gorilla. And I know gorilla might have the agility, but Bears, much like humans, are endurance hunters. They can run 30 miles an hour as long as they need to chase down whatever they're hunting.
They're persistent.
Yes.
They're persistent.
Very.
Especially since there's a much smaller predator known to give gorillas problems. Gorillas have been documented getting preyed on by African leopards, even with jungle leopards being bulkier.
Wait. The leopard's in the picture?
Especially since...
See if we can spot him. Where's the leopard? Where's the leopard? Where is he? Damn, where is he? If he's hiding really well. I think it's abundantly clear, Rick. If we were in the bush, we'd be dead.
Yeah, we're gone.
Yeah. Where in the hell? Where in the hell is it? Rick is literally up close to his mom. Thankfully, I've got like a big ass TV down here, so I don't have to do that. But, I don't know, man. Damn. Where is that? Where is he? Damn, I can't find him.
I'm usually good at this.
Me too. I can't see him anywhere. Chat, I mean, like, let us know in the comments where he's at. I mean, I'd be more than happy to know. Hold on, wait. Is it down here? No, it's not here. Damn. I can't find it. We'd be dead. That's it.
Yeah.
We would be getting rolled up. We would be getting made a meal out of by a leopard.
There's a much smaller predator known to give gorillas problems. Gorillas have been documented getting preyed on by African leopards. Even with jungle leopards being bulkier due to less competition, that's still an at most 180-pound cat past tensing Optimus Prime. Now let me be fair, these are rare. And leopards usually
I cheated. Go back. He is in between the stick and tree going up.
Between the stick and the what?
I'm gonna show you the picture.
Holy shit, I see him. Damn, okay.
Yep.
I see him now. He's right there. Damn, okay. Still, though, it took all that. We'd still be dead. Look at that.
And now I can't unsee it.
Yeah. It's like as soon as you see it, you can't unsee it.
Insane.
I know, dude. Freaking leopards, dude. They're terrifying.
known to give gorillas problems. Gorillas have been documented getting preyed on by African leopards. Even with jungle leopards being bulkier due to less competition, that's still an at most 180-pound cat past tensing Optimus Prime. Now let me be fair, these are rare and leopards usually go for hoofed animals.
Optimus Primal, I mean Beast Wars, let's not mince words here, casual. It's Optimus Primal. Don't get me wrong, he is Optimus Prime, but you know, in the show he's Optimus Prime.
Wild pigs and monkeys. Gorillas are actually too big and too social to be a regular on the grocery list, so it sounds like my whole point is trash. But that same paper listing gorilla on gorilla violence also showed the aftermath of leopard attacks. In those reports, all leopard victims took bite wounds to the head and most of the arms, with lacerations localized about the neck and claw marks on the trunk. So even though it is rare and a one-on-one between a silverback and a leopard might murk both, if a gorilla can struggle with less than 200 pounds of predator, a 900-pound duratio would give Harambe a bunkmate. Also, against 100 men, there are some very real issues that could be game over for the gorilla. The big one is endurance. Gorillas are dangerously close to being hot girl fit. They're best using explosive bursts of energy, not sustained strain over a long period of time, and a fight against 100 humans would likely last hours, which is really bad considering compared to us, gorillas have poor temperature control. Gorillas don't have as many sweat glands as humans, and if we're talking about mountain gorillas, the thick fur would make it a 1-on-1 versus 1. The men and the risk of heat stroke. That is, if the ape doesn't just have a heart attack. Cardiovascular disease is the leading cause of death in gorillas in zoos.
Damn it. How'd they find a picture of me, man?
And 70% of male gorillas in zoos suffer from heart disease that'll past tense them prematurely. Now that might just apply to zoo gorillas, but it's still a factor. Another is the very temperament of the gorilla is highly non-confrontational. They're more likely to run away than run a fade. But most importantly, the brawling, grappling build is not a good combat style against multiple enemies. We know that cause there's another African predator that's been giving gorillas hell, and you may not have even realized it. And it's weird because for a while, gorillas and chimpanzees seem like they were on good terms. They've been recorded foraging together, and they'll even have their version of primate playdates. That all changed when the chimps started chimping. A couple years ago in Luongo National Park, scientists witnessed a gang of 18 chimps jump a gorilla family of 5. That's 3 females, 1 baby, and a silverback. The turf war lasted an hour, and even with the silverback apparently testing ragdoll physics, throwing chimps in the air, and even managing to injure 3. Eventually, he was surrounded and chased off by 9 chimps. The adults got away, but the chimps managed to snatch the baby gorilla of the group, which was promptly eaten.
Damn, it's just like Bloods and Crips. I'm like comparing like the gang violence element, not what you thought. Not what you thought. You took it there, not me. Okay?
It's not the fact that I didn't take it there. I know where the internet's going to take that. I know, like, dude, even Smitty is shocked by what you just said, man.
Good.
Oh, well.
The second attack involved 27 chimpanzees and 7 gorillas, and this time, the silverback made a business decision and immediately climbed out of the trees and fled the scene. Yes, comparing chimps to humans is comparing durians to jackfruit. The moral here is the one gorilla can not only be overwhelmed, but neutralized by numbers. Because if there's one thing that's being dangerously underrated, it's the power of friendship. Don't laugh, I'm serious. If you remember this picture, then you know this was the 100 Men 1 Gorilla of 2018. It's pretty self-explanatory. Everything here is coming for your life except the 2 you picked to run defense for you. And I'm just gonna kill the suspense. If one of those picks isn't the 10,000 rats, you have no idea how big 10,000 is. If one of those picks is coming for your life, this was the 100.
See. So, pick 2, they will defend you, the rest is coming to kill you. The rats and the bears.
Yeah.
I'm picking the rats and the bears. And the rest are coming to kill me. Okay. I would sick the rats on the human first. Take out the human. Get rid of the gun. And then, basically, 10,000 rats gnawing on you. That's... People don't understand how much 10,000 is. That's a shit ton of rats.
Yeah.
Especially if they're hungry.
Let's go to New York. Let's go to Subway, New York. You'll see 10,000 of them right there.
I think collectively in New York, there's probably more rats than people.
I can see that.
100 Men 1 Gorilla of 2018. It's pretty self-explanatory. Everything here is coming for your life except the 2 you picked to run defense for you. And I'm just gonna kill the suspense. If one of those picks isn't the 10,000 rats, you have no idea how big 10,000 is. Add eagles for aerial support and the rest of the field would have over 200 rats to deal with each. And it's cause the power of plurality is one of the most broken strategies in nature. Mobbing refers to an anti-predator behavior where prey animals approach, harass, and sometimes attack their own predator. It's how one animal can shift an almost impossible matchup in their favor. One hyena to a lion is a chew toy. Add 20 and it's a life lesson. Pilot whales have been on record chasing orcas out of high competition areas and even actively following the sounds of orca hunts. There's plenty of examples of weaponized unity in nature.
Oh yeah,
but
the
probably my
baboons
favorite
chasing
case
down
of
the leopard. That was...
Yep.
The king to a mob happens off the coast of South Africa, where fur seals have to risk their spot on the census every time they check the fridge, because the seals can't go out for groceries without the chance of running into the biggest predatory fish on Earth. Every year, great white sharks will gather around fur seal nurseries and snatch any inexperienced pups. The problem is so many sharks show up that a seal can dodge one great white right into the jaws of another. You've seen this movie before. But there's an alternate ending. Scientists have recorded fur seals squatting up into one giant group and using their numbers to turn on the sharks closing in. And as the mob gets bigger, the seal force gets more confident, leading to them escorting the 20-foot assault submarines back out to sea. So with all this, now it doesn't seem like a stretch to favor 100 men over just one gorilla. You could argue that the seals and the other mob merchants aren't actually getting physical with their final boss. That's true. Everyone's asking if 100 men could off a gorilla. No one's asking how. Well, that's why I'm here. But first, obligatory, don't try this on a gorilla, or at least don't blame me for the consequences if you do. In a fight against a simian weighing a shack and a half, it's all about attacking the weak points, and a gorilla's weak points are the same as ours. Eyes, throat, mouth, and for measure, the jewels of the South. It's all about delivering damage that actually matters, and to do that, someone would have to perform the Draymond Green special.
Okay, Draymond, eyes and nuts. Dude, the amount of times I've seen Draymond Green like swat at someone's eye and like, dude, Steven Adams is one of the toughest people in the NBA. Draymond Green full tilt just right there in the balls on national TV, and dude, and Steven Adams goes down and he stands back up and he's just like, I think that bloke did that on purpose. Of course he did. It's Draymond Green. The man is a walking vibe check.
And go for the eyes and blind him. Someone else would have to suffocate the supersized simian, either by bear hugging his windpipe, which only Tarzan backpacking plot armor can do, or by shoving your entire arm down his throat. And since you're already negotiating your arm elbow deep in esophagus, you'd also have to pull the gorilla's tongue out. I call that the leopard method, because a 73-year-old once soloed an attacking leopard by reaching into its mouth and ripping out the leopard's liquor. And speaking of grab and pull, someone would have to be elected to perform.
Oh, that's one of them. That's one of the times that he hit him in the balls.
To its mouth and ripping out the leopard's liquor. And speaking of grab and pull, someone would
just like
have to be elected.
Yeah.
Oh man.
That's a jumping kick right to the balls.
That's a Liu Kang kick.
Smash. The leopard's liquor. And speak.
Oh man.
Okay.
Speaking of grab and pull, someone would have to be elected.
He needs some milk.
Unmentionables. Hey, don't this is war. The rest would have to use their combined strength to pin the primate down, with the remainder delivering kicks to the gorilla's flank. The most powerful natural attack to the gorilla's most vulnerable area. That would probably be the best way to chip away at a gorilla. One problem though, this is still a gorilla we're talking about. Even with everything I said about their strength being overrated, a gorilla fighting for its life would show you destruction like you've never seen. It doesn't matter how many men, the method, or the facet, for those first few, their only outcome is a closed casket. Even if numbers eventually win, those first dozen or so men would be horrifically maimed, mutilated, or straight up murked. You can argue that if I can mention that 100 men running over the hill would intimidate even a gorilla, witnessing men getting mauled and disfigured would inflict psychological damage. There's an argument that witnessing the sheer carnage would weaken the resolve of the others, destabilizing the army. And you have to remember, if mobbing is natural, doing so in a way that guarantees a portion of your team sees Tupac live isn't. Even animals like hyenas will fall back if they sense they don't have enough of an advantage in a clan fight. But there's a catch. The tweet that started all this said, dedicated to that shit. Surely if men can watch bunkmates get blown to bits in a war, then you can find 100 willing to die about a gorilla. If they can withstand the visceral reaction of seeing jaws getting detached, limbs getting dislocated, and a field of open fractures, 100 men would definitely beat a gorilla. And moral of the story, we have strayed so far from the halo of Harambe. Yeah, this is the part where I do the annoying thing and turn a tweet made by someone who definitely wouldn't pass a P-test into a lecture. But like I said in the other video, gorillas have already been getting the middle finger from humanity, either in the wild or in zoos. Whether it's trophy hunting or bushmeat, habitat loss, or an unsupervised minor, humans have the highest KD ratio against our green machine cousins. Because a gorilla has never been on record life depriving a person, even when they may have had a reason. Yet the mountain gorilla is nearly in bed with extinction mostly because of humans. But not all humans. Some dedicate their entire lives to the welfare of this giga ape, which is why I will be donating to Virunga National Park. Not only do they treat and protect the gorillas there as family, they often have to risk their lives regularly going against poachers. That and the fact that I made a video detailing how to murk an endangered species makes my soul itch, so link down below if you'd like to donate as well. I'm not kidding when I say they're family. This man was seen comforting one of his young gorillas after his mother died. And fun fact, Virunga National is where we got this gem. But yeah, that's gonna do it for this video. video, fun little video that nobody should take seriously. Nah, but I think I'm gonna start doing the animal versus animal face-off videos again, so let me know what animal matchup you'd like to see me yap about. There's one I've been wanting to get into for a while. Friendly reminder that I have a book, 100 Animals That'll Bleeping End You. I'd say more, but the name's no marketing. Also, I have a Patreon, but reminder that your money's probably just gonna buy me lunch, so don't spend a check unless you've always wanted to indirectly feed me Wendy's. Or you might just fund my next trip. I mean, all this talk about gorillas, who knows? Maybe I'll go see one. Oh shit. But yeah, drink water, hug your mother. Please don't gang up on a gorilla. They've been through enough. And I'm gonna see y'all in the next one.
Yeah. Casual Geographic. One of my favorite like YouTubers has come out here in the last 5 years or so. He's
very witty and very like how he describes certain things takes you a little bit like aback.
Oh yeah.
And his comedy is like perfect.
Oh yeah, it's great. I love Casual Geographic. His comedy always just like sends me, and that's one thing that I just can't help but just feel like I love that dude. I love his content. I love his sense of comedy. I'd like to chill with him and just be like, yo, man, like, you want to go to the zoo and you could tell me all about these animals and shit? And he'll just be like, do I look like a National Geographic? I'm like, no, you look like a Casual Geographic. Aha. Yeah. And then he'd probably just like walk away and give me the finger because, you know, I would deserve that at that point.
Yeah.
But yeah, Casual Geographic, I've always like enjoyed his content, and I hope he continues to make content for a long time, because I keep seeing these YouTubers retiring, and it's making me sad, because, you know, Moo retiring, and then of course, I know Dallas or Soup technically didn't retire, but he did retire from the Goons, which is sad. Mm-hmm. And then of course there was also what was it? It was yeah, there were several that retired, like all with like Matt Pat from Game Theory, which, if I can be honest, Game Theory, Film Theory, and like all the other ones have not been the same since he left. And then of course, what was it? It was recently here, the Outdoor Boys. He called it quits, and I was really sad about that, because I've enjoyed his channel over like the last like few years since I've known about it. And to see it grow to the like heights that it has, I mean, 15 million subs. I didn't expect it to get that big. I don't think anyone did. But and I can understand him taking time off, because, you know, he wants to raise his boys. He wants to be there as a father, and that is more than respectable.
Yep.
And if Casual Geographic ever gets to that point where, you know, he finds himself a lady, he has himself some youngins running around, and he wants to take some time off, or, you know, call it a career, I wouldn't blame him. I wouldn't blame him at all, because honestly, he's already made more of an impact than most people will. Look at this. 603 million total views. Like, that's, for a channel that's only been around as long as it has, that's amazing. It truly is.
That's phenomenal.
Yeah.
And
160 videos as well. I mean, it's crazy.
he makes education way more easier to obtain with the little remarks he does here and there about anybody on a t-shirt, whatever. He makes it very, very entertaining.
Yes.
So it's like you're getting the whole experience of how like us were, you know, who grew up with like Steve Irwin, being a little bit more to the point. And yes, and he made it also exciting. But you're getting it the more modern version of like a Steve Irwin stuff, with more with like Gen Z humor to it.
Yeah.
And it grasps your attention, because you want to hear the next, you know, stupid witty response you're gonna say next, or things that's just out of pocket or just out of like left field. So you want to see more of that.
Oh, absolutely. I absolutely do want to see more of that. I want to see more of that and then some, because again, the dude's hilarious. The dude just has like just such a good sense of comedic timing. He's got hilarious catchphrases, and not only that, but he actually cares. He actually cares about the content that he's divulging to us, and I love that. I love the fact that every now and again, whenever he updates and brings out a new video, I'm just like, oh man, I can't wait to see what this one's going to be about. But yeah, this was a lot of fun, and Rick, thank you for joining me on this, and hopefully we haven't made you too afraid to like to like keep doing videos with us and all that. But
nowhere near.
Yeah,
never.
So
I think you're more afraid of making content with me than I'm afraid of making content with you.
I definitely have to be careful, because every now and again it's just like, oh boy, that like he could say it, but because I'm here, they're gonna dump all the shit on me, and it's just I know it's all in good fun. We're here having fun, and if people get offended, okay, be offended. Like what else? What's there to do? Oh, you're offended. Woo. Oh, what's that? You're already moved on to the next thing to be offended by? Okay, cool.
There you go.
And next thing you know, there's like the next 10,000 things that they're offended by, and they've already forgotten about us.
Exactly.
Oh, that's just how it goes. All right. Well, this was 100 Men versus 1 Gorilla. Everything you need to know by Casual Geographic. If you want to see more from Casual Geographic, feel free to click his channel, which will be right here between me and Rick. You should see it right up there. Yep, right about there. And of course, down here you'll see a little subscribe button if you want to check that out and check out our respective channels and all that. I mean, I'll leave a link to Rick's channel and all these videos that that we're in and everything. And of course, in front of me you'll probably see the Curse of Strahd playthrough. In front of Rick, you'll probably see the random video. Which why aren't you clicking it? Go right now. Click, 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 click. Yeah. So anyway, till next time, I'm Nate.
And I'm Rick.
We'll see you in the next one. Peace.
Peace.